Hey guys, so today I'm going to jump right into the video instead of doing some long rambling intro. I know, I'm proud of me. And today we're going to talk about all my tattoos. I recently rewatched my old All About My Tattoos video, which was filmed like 4 or 5 years ago. So A, I have a lot more tattoos since then, and B, that video is just so cringy to me. It's literally awful. But please ignore this mess that is my hair. That's just an ongoing theme of my life. My hair is a mess, so just ignore it, please. Also, if the lighting looks a little bit off, that's because it is. I'm sorry. This is way better than what we were working with before, though, so at this moment you're like, she said she wasn't going to do a rambling intro, and here I am, rambling. I'm not going to try to attach some kind of meaning to my tattoos. Some of my tattoos are extremely meaningful, but one of the things I hated the most about watching my old video was watching me try to like make everything so meaningful and just like, I don't care. I have more than one tattoo that I got because I think it looks cool, and that's perfectly fine with me. If that's not for you, that's totally cool. Don't get tattoos that are just non-meaningful. But I am somebody who plans on covering most of their body with tattoos, so most of it is going to be aesthetics for me, honestly, and that's just what it is. So I honestly don't know how many tattoos I have, like I think 20 now or something, I don't know, doesn't matter. I'm gonna try to go in the order that I got them, but in the middle it gets a little bit fuzzy, so forgive me if I get mixed up on which order I got things in, because it's really hard to remember at a certain point. You know, I've been getting them for about 10 years now, actually. Holy cow, I am getting old. So the first tattoo I ever got was on my foot when I was 16, and it's just love in cursive. The artist who did it for me, he just drew it up. This was done by hand. It took like 15 minutes. It was not all that painful, although again, it only took like 15 minutes. So when I do a large tattoo on my foot, let me update you on the pain on that. So the second and third tattoos that I got were my sparrows on my shoulders, and I got them at separate times, and I actually ended up getting them done by separate artists, which is not what I wanted. But after the first guy did this one, we waited like 8 months to go back and get the other one, and when I went back, the artists were like, oh yeah, no, he isn't a tattooer anymore, like he just completely quit, like I can do it for you. So I went ahead and let him do it, and then come to find out the guy was still tattooing, and he was just at a different shop, and they just had like beef or something, I don't really know. So that was pretty annoying. But so I got my shoulders done. I love those, or my sparrows on my shoulders. I absolutely love them. I still love them. So the next tattoo that I got after that was, it was my ribs and my hand. This one has since been covered, so I can just show you this here. Just a black heart on my finger. But I will put up a picture of what it used to look like. It used to be a red heart on my finger. That's what it originally looked like. And on the very same night that I got that, I got the piece on my ribs that says "Follow Your Heart" in cursive. And that was a font that I found online that I wanted, and then my artist kind of like cut out the words and put them as like a shape on my body. But actually, these were the first tattoos done for me by my most favoriteest tattoo artist. His name is Ryan Vinderly, and he tattoos at Grade A. If you are in the Fort Wayne, Indiana area, that is where he tattoos. He is phenomenal, and I've actually been with him since the beginning of his career. He did these tattoos when he was an apprentice. It was like his third and fourth or fourth and fifth tattoo or something like that he ever did, so that's pretty cool. And like I said, he's phenomenal now. We will very shortly be looking at more work done by him. Most of my tattoos have been done by the same guy, so yeah, that's kind of cool. I think the next tattoo that I got was this one on my chest. I was 18, 19, yeah, something like that. I was 18 when I got my ribs and my hand, or my finger done. So I think I was like 18 or 19 when I got this, probably 18. And it says, "Judge me not with your eyes," in a really small cursive font on my collarbone. And when I got it done, my artist, Ryan, hi Ryan, told me, hey, that's a really tiny font, like that's not going to last very long, like it's going to bleed together, you're not going to be able to read what it says. And I was like, but I want it really tiny. So he gave it to me really tiny, and guess what? Here, let me get up close. Ugh. Now, I'm going to insert a picture of what it looked like when I first got it done, obvi. But this is what it looks like now, more or less. That's not the greatest angle in the world, but it's pretty small and it's pretty smushed together, and it's 100% my fault because he told me that that was going to happen. So yeah, that will be eventually covered. I do plan on getting like a full chest and neck piece, so that is, you know, going to be covered one day. I'm pretty sure the next tattoo after this one is my thigh, the side of my thigh. I have a dream catcher. This is my most hated tattoo, which is another reason it was so funny to watch my other video, because in that video I referred to this as gorgeous, and I said that I loved it and I loved everything about it, and I guess I was still delusional and thought that this was a good tattoo. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not the worst tattoo in the world. It definitely could be so much worse, and I'm going to explain to you what happened with this tattoo. This was not done by Ryan. So here's what it looked like when I first got it. Which honestly, when I first got it, it was fine. It's not something I would pick out and want now, and it's not exactly what I had in mind when I asked for it. But it's not hideous. Now I'm going to put up a picture of far away or further away what it looks like now, and then a close-up of the actual dream catcher part and what it looks like now. So that's what these pictures are. This tattoo was done by another guy at the same shop that Ryan started out at. And at this point in time, again, I think I was like 19, maybe I was 20. I'm pretty sure though I was 19. I had talked to him and told him, oh, I really want this big dream catcher piece on my thigh, but I know it's going to cost like a lot of money, so I'm not going to be able to get it for a while. Like, I'm super bummed. I really want this piece. And I'm actually going to go ahead because I know exactly which picture it was. I'm going to put the picture up. This is what I wanted. This one around on Tumblr. And then I attached some like huge meaning to it, which was accurate, but like just ridiculous. That's what I got on my thigh. That's not what I got at all. And when I came in, Ryan offered to do it for a very little amount of money. I'm not going to say how much. He offered to do it for way under what a tattoo this size should cost. And so of course I was like, yes, let's do it. And I come in, and at the time he had a very pregnant girlfriend who very much did not like me at all. So when I came in to get the tattoo, he was actually drawing it out, and his girlfriend was there, and she was pissed, and it went on for a really long time. But finally he pulled me aside and he's like, hey, like, I can't do your tattoo. Like, I'm really, really sorry, but so-and-so in the shop is willing to do it. I'm not going to say who it was because, like, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I just don't like this tattoo anymore. It did not age well. The line work on it to me just looks horrible. It's just rough. But anyways, he said, you know, so-and-so said that he can do the tattoo though. And I said, oh, like, alright, like, I'll do it. So so-and-so starts on my tattoo, and like, we're halfway through the line work, I'm pretty sure, and he's like, yo, like, how much did Ryan say that he was going to charge you for this? Like, it's fine, whatever it was. I just need to know. And I very sheepishly told him the amount, knowing, again, that it was way under, like, what the amount of time, like, it would take, what it should cost. And I said, but it's totally cool. Like, if you want more money, like, I totally understand. This is just all I have on me tonight. But, like, it was going to take multiple sessions, so, like, I can absolutely, like, give you whatever you need. And he was like, no, like, it's fine, we'll do it for that price. But I could tell that he was, like, not happy, and I don't blame him. Listen, I don't blame him. But at the same time, he should have just said, you know what, that is way under, like, what you should be charged. Like, what if we do this amount, you know, or whatever, because I was more than willing to do that and would have done that. So I kind of think that he rushed through the tattoo. I kind of think he didn't do half as good of a tattoo as maybe he could have, because he didn't want to do it and it wasn't his tattoo to begin with. So there you go. There's a little story on one of my tattoos. So moving right along. I believe the next tattoo I got is the one on the front of my thigh on my other leg. This was done again by Ryan. Again, this tattoo is not one of my favorite tattoos, but I don't hate it. I would like to either have it reworked or have this idea put somewhere else now, because it was just something that I brought to him before he was ready to do it, and that's really all there is to it. And I think if I were to ask him for this tattoo now, I think he would absolutely kill it. But it is a girl's face. Well, it's actually supposed to be somewhat like my face on the front of my thigh. An ex-boyfriend drew this up for me. with a like towel or like bandana, cloth, whatever, over her mouth, and it says break free. And then it was supposed to look like her head was kind of splitting and colorful smoke was going out of her head. It kind of looks more like a colorful thought bubble, honestly, and other people have told me that a lot, but it is an idea that I really like. Oh yeah, and her eyes are like stitched shut. That was actually like not part of the original drawing, but then we came up with that. The next tattoo that I got would be my phoenix. I got this done in three or four different sessions. I did not finish it until actually not that long ago, and it still isn't technically like finished, but the coloring is all in. I actually won a contest. My sparrows won a contest online, and I won $200 of free tattooing from this place in the mall close to where I live. It was really cool. I was really excited. I went, I told this guy like, hey, like I want to use just the $200 because I'm very poor at this time in my life. Like I was still gonna, I want to like put this right here. I was still going to tip him very well. I just didn't want to do any more money tattoo wise because I didn't have a lot of money, and I wanted to be able to tip him very well since it was free tattooing. So I just want to make that very clear. So I went in and I was like, I don't know if I want a full sleeve. At that point in time, I wasn't sure what I wanted, but I wanted a half sleeve for sure. And I said, I want to put a phoenix right here. I want it to stop at like the crook of my arm. And I want it to be really colorful. I don't want red, orange, and yellow because I don't really like those colors, which is like kind of stupid, I know. But I just want like a lot of colors, and I want it to be really feminine and pretty. And he's like, cool, cool, bet, got you. Except it was before people said bet. So he drew it out with markers, and he drew it a lot larger, as you can see, than what I wanted, but that's alright. He wanted to make money off of it. I totally understand what he was doing there. And he said, he like drew it out, and I was like, yeah, I love it. And then he's like, okay, but like this is obviously not a $200 tattoo. And I was like, so how much is it then? And he's like, well, I could do it for $300. I'm like, all right, whatever, cool, whatever. That's basically just ate into his tip, but all right, cool, we're doing it. We get the line work done. I think I sat for like 5.5-ish hours, and at that point, that was the longest I had ever sat, and I was like, bro, like my arm hurts. Like once he got up here to the top, like that shit sucked. So he got all the line work done and some pink in the body, which you'll see in the first few pictures that I put up. That's the first session. When it came time to try to go back to get it worked on again, he had gone to prison. This is the second time at that tattoo shop. No, just hold on. This is the second time that I've gotten a tattoo started at that same tattoo shop and come back and they're like, oh no, that person like is unavailable basically. Now the last time they lied wasn't tattooing when he was, but whatever. Ryan ended up finishing the color work, which you'll see I got it done. I'm pretty sure in two different sessions, quite a ways apart from each other. So he did all the color work for me, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I love my phoenix. I believe the next tattoo I got was the inside of my fingers. So I'll show you. That's what they look like now. Let me put this one up here. Honestly, they look pretty good for finger tattoos, especially because I work, I've like worked in multiple kitchens, and I work as a waitress now, and just like stuff, I wash my hands a lot. It's pretty awesome how well they've held up, honestly. And I will of course put up pictures of what they look like right after. But I want to first say that, yes, I know Matata is actually spelled wrong. They say Hakuna Matata, no worries. Matata is spelled with a D where it should be a T. I know that. I have not had it fixed yet because simply finger tattoos suck. It didn't feel nice. It hurt really bad. It was over really quickly, but it hurt really bad. So I've not gone back and fixed it because, quite honestly, most people don't notice until I say something about it. But embarrassingly enough, I was really excited when I first got these done, and I posted the picture that I'm going to show you of when they were first done, and somebody on Tumblr pointed out that they were spelled wrong. Whoops. Yeah, so listen kids, if you're going to get some weird phrase or like word tattooed on you, you should probably check and see how it's spelled first, because I sure as hell didn't. And my artist just like drew it on, and I was like, yup, dope, let's do it. It's spelled wrong, whatever, I don't care, it's fine. Oh, I definitely missed one. I'm not going to talk about this one for too long because this is a tattoo I got with an ex, and it will be covered at some point. It's just not been covered yet because it's honestly not like top priority. But I have the insides of both of my arms. I'm not even going to show you a picture. I'm just going to like quickly show you. There's a word right here, and there's a word right here. It's like a best friend tattoo that I got with my ex, And yeah, don't get tattoos with significant others. Even if you're married, it's probably not the greatest of ideas. But at least I didn't get someone's name, so that's all we're going to say about that. I do have those tattoos, and I got those before I got my phoenix, actually. Oh, another little fun thing in the last video that I made is that you can actually see a tattoo that is no longer visible, is now covered. But in that video, I have a music note on my wrist that was done at home. And I'm pretty sure that's the next one that I got. It was backwards. I lived with 2 musicians, and I myself took lots of music classes. I played guitar, I took voice lessons, I was in choir, I played clarinet in band. I mean, I did lots of musical stuff. I know how to read music, not as well now, but then I definitely could very easily read music. Okay, I know a music note. And I still drew a backwards music note. And my ex, who was also a musician, looked at it and said nothing about it being backwards and was like, yeah, cool, like, dope, get it. And then our roommate, who was doing the tattoo at the time, who was also a musician, put it on my wrist and was like, yeah, dope, perfect, and then tattooed it. And then I feel like we all realized at different times that it was actually backwards, a backwards music note. So that's not cute or cool. So we covered that, and we'll get into that one in just a second. But I have another home done tattoo. I in no way am saying that that's a good idea. It's not. Do not get home done tattoos. It's a bad idea. But I will say for this next one, the guy is actually a tattoo artist now in a shop doing, you know, big tattoo things. So at least he is in fact a tattoo artist. I got it on the inside of my ankle. It's a peace sign with vines. I don't know why I keep doing this. I guess because I know I'm putting the pictures there, but I can't see them. It's a peace sign with branches and some little like daisies around it. It's cute. It's on the inside of my ankle. It hurt real bad. That's one of my most painful ones for sure. Fingers, inner ankle, and sternum, which we'll get to, are the most painful. That is where my last video concluded, in case anyone was curious or wondering. So the next tattoo that I actually got would be this semicolon on my wrist, and this is what it looks like now. I'm not gonna like put it in focus or anything because like you can see it, it's a semicolon, and it's actually covering that backwards music note. That's why it's so big. I got this, they were doing like a suicide awareness thing where Ryan worked at the time, and I just went and got it with a couple of friends. They got littler ones, of course, but yeah, that's my big old semicolon on my wrist there. The next tattoo that I got, and I already am like lost on what age I was. I took a huge break in getting tattoos. And then a few years ago, after my ex and I broke up and I was back living at home for a few months, I saved some money and I finished my phoenix and kind of reconnected with Ryan. We weren't like not friends or anything, but I just hadn't seen him for a while. I didn't have money to get tattooed and stuff, and I was just busy. So I kind of started getting back into getting tattooed again. And I believe I was like 23? Yeah, 23-ish. So I went and finished my phoenix, which of course I've already showed you pictures of what it looked like all the way through. And then about a year after that, when I was 24, I went and got my elbow tattooed. This is what it looks like today. Now, this has only been gone over once, and it is an elbow, so a lot of the ink has fallen out. But yeah, I got full color on my elbow. That is a 4-star Dragon Ball for my Dragon Ball Z fans out there. And I love it very much. I do not have any plans of getting the rest of the Dragon Balls. Everyone likes to ask me. This is probably the tattoo I get the most questions and like comments about. And the number 2 question that I'm always asked is, didn't that hurt? Actually, that's the number 1 question I'm asked. The rest of the Dragon Balls question is number 2. And it did, like, it didn't like feel lovely or nice, but it didn't hurt as bad as I was like prepared for it to hurt. And I would say there's only like maybe 20 minutes of like intense pain on the inside, like where my actual elbow is, and then the rest is just like uncomfortable. So not too bad, honestly, at least for me. I have friends that have their elbows tattooed and they found it very painful. So tattoos are just one of those things, like it just depends on the person, and my elbow didn't hurt that bad. After my elbow, I came into the shop just to like hang out for a little bit and chill and like talk to Ryan, and he had this custom drawing, and this is actually one of my favorite tattoos. I'm really excited to like be into talking about these. He had a fairy, and I'm gonna put up pictures of different stages of when this was done. It took 3 sessions, and I honestly couldn't tell you how long. The first session was like 7 hours, I think. The second one was like 4 or 5, and then the third one was like 4 or 5 also. So quite a bit of sitting on my outer calf. And I will also say your calf ain't no joke. Like, I thought that was not gonna hurt at all. Like, I was like, oh, whatever. Like, it's like a commonplace for tattoos. Like, everyone has one there. No, that shit hurt for me. But I love this tattoo. It's a fairy. It's beautiful. It's like a custom. He made this. He took like pictures for inspiration and he made this happen, and it's really, really cool. I love the colors. I gave him pretty much free reign, like whatever he wanted to do. Pretty much this whole leg is gonna be that. I just love this tattoo. I think it's such a beautiful tattoo. I think it's a good representation of what an amazing tattoo artist he is. The next tattoo that I started working on was on the other side of my calf. This tattoo is also fairies, and I don't think I've ever talked about this on here, but I actually read tarot cards. I have a really cool tarot card deck by Brian Frond, who is an artist behind Dark Crystal and Labyrinth. He made like all the little like creatures and things, and this deck is really, really cool. If you guys are interested in hearing more about it, I could definitely talk about it, so leave that in the comments if you're interested. Ryan, my tattoo artist, also thought the artwork was really cool, so he decided that we're going to do the whole rest of this leg in fairies and in artwork styled, designed from the cards. So we kind of went through my tarot card, picked out all of our favorites, and kind of put them together in a way that would make sense. And so we started on this one on the inside of my calf. That's the first one out of the tarot deck, and I love it. This is two different cards put together. The bottom faces off of one card, and then the top faces off of another card, and it's not finished yet. We still have some antlers and leaves in the top to go, and of course that crescent moon is still empty. My leg, we've done 3 sessions so far on this side, and my leg is not cooperating on the inside. It's a lot of blood is coming to the surface immediately. Again, I don't tattoo, so I don't really know what that means, but I just know that that means that it wasn't the greatest time for tattooing. We are having a little bit of difficulty with that one. It brings us forward to February of this last year. Oh, actually, hold on. I also got this, I don't know when I got this done, but I got this one of the sessions that I went in for my leg. And this is a crescent moon on my finger. So this is only a few months old, but now both fingers have tattoos. Then February of this year, so February 2019, I went in and went to Ryan Has an Apprentice, and I talked to him about I want to do this whole arm kind of spooky dark stuff. He was super into it. His artwork was really cool. He's really cool. However, my piece on my arm is not finished and it looks a little bit rough right now. So I'm not actually going to say who it is because I don't feel like it's a good representation of their abilities. And like I said, it isn't finished, and sometimes tattoos can look really rough when they're not finished. I don't hate this tattoo. I don't dislike how dark it is. I have, if you can tell, I'm very guarded about it because I have received a lot of negative kind of feedback and criticism in my life about it. But just throwing that out there, I'm not mad about it. I like it. So I'm going to put up a picture of what it looked like right after I got it done, and then I'm going to kind of explain what happened right afterwards. So this is what it looked like right after I got it done. It is a coffin done mostly in solid black with pops of yellow color, and then there's like an eyeball above it, and it says RIP on the middle. Super cool. So this is what it looks like now. And again, I'm not going to really like take too much time here. It's kind of a hard spot to show. But it is very, very dark. The yellow is kind of hard to read at the moment, and here's why. When I came home, this tattoo swelled and swelled and swelled, and I had a really hard heal with it. And the open skin where the yellow was obviously still open, like when directly after I got tattooed, and a ton of black ink just like came out of my skin. And I've never had a tattoo that was this solid black, so I was not expecting that. I didn't know to expect that. And the black ink that was kind of coming out of my skin got on top of the yellow ink that was still open, and it kind of melded together. And I do a method with my tattoos where I wrap them, like with Saniderm, only I don't always have Saniderm. It's a whole thing. If you are interested in hearing me talk about how I take care of my tattoos or any of that kind of stuff, I could make another video. Just leave it in the comments below. I'd be happy to do that. But that's the way that I heal my tattoos. So when I took off my first wrap, I realized what was going on, but I didn't realize before that. And at that point, there wasn't really anything I could do. And I'm not honestly sure if there was anything I could do from the beginning, because not wrapping it, I think I would have had an even harder heal. So it is a little bit muddied, but it isn't finished. So when it's finished, I think it's going to be awesome, and I love it. It's part of my collection. The next tattoo that I got in April, I believe. Yeah, I got it in April of this year, so I'm going to put up a picture of what it looked like right after I got it done. It's also technically not finished because we are going to go back in and put in white highlights. and it is on the back of my arm here, so this is what it looks like now. This tattoo was done by Victoria Barker, and she used to be at Grade A, also where Ryan is at, and she moved to a smaller city. I honestly cannot remember the name of the shop. I'm terrible at this. But if you are seriously interested in looking at her artwork, just contact me and I'll send you like all the information. But I have her as a friend on Facebook, and I kept seeing her artwork, and I just thought, oh, like, this is so cool. Her artwork is so cool. And then I saw that she posted this one a couple times, and she was offering a really good deal for it. She really wanted to tattoo it, so I was like, I have to have this tattoo. So I set up an appointment. She's really cool and really sweet. I'm really glad I got to meet her, and I definitely have plans in the future of getting more tattoos from her because I love this tattoo. I love it so, so much. It's definitely up there with one of my favorite tattoos. For sure. Okay, so that brings us to my newest tattoo. Holy cow. So my latest tattoo that I got on May 1st, and it is a sternum piece, and I will put up a couple of different pictures here of the outline, and then when we started on the color, it's not finished yet. This is the most painful, hold on, focus. This is the most painful tattoo I've ever had in my whole life. I'm not even fronting right now. This tattoo was not fun. I'm not looking forward to finishing it, which I am finishing it later in June, but that was some intense pain. The design on the bottom wasn't what hurt. Like, that was somewhat uncomfortable at times. There was one point where it like tickled and hurt at the same time, which is a weird sensation. But the intense pain is where the actual gemstone is, where my actual septum, what? What really hurt was the gemstone. Where my actual sternum is, it hurt, and it felt like my bones like were bruised. Maybe they were, I don't know. And then I don't know for sure if this was connected because I did eat Panda Express right afterwards, so it could have been the Panda Express. But I was so sick for the whole next day, and like my body ached, and I was just like nauseous and throwing up, and I was just so sick, and I honestly feel like it was from the intense pain of my sternum tattoo. And I know there are people that have like full-blown like sternum pieces, and man, that's pretty metal, honestly, because that hurt a lot. That is definitely what I would consider my most painful tattoo. I love it though. I can't wait to see it finished. I just am not looking forward to sitting through the rest of it. It will extend up onto like between my boobs and onto my chest and stuff, so I'm really excited about that. Anyways, that's all of my tattoos. If you've made it to the end, thank you so much. You're a trooper. Remember, don't go watch my other video because it is heinous and awful and cringy, and I don't even look like the same person. Can we just discuss the fact that from like age like 20 to 23 and like age like 24 to now, I look like two totally different people. Like, it's weird. Like, I look like me, but I don't look like me. It's nuts. Anyways, there was the rambling. I tried to skip the rambling in the beginning, and here we are rambling at the end. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Thank you for supporting me. I love you guys.